welcome back. And we're all gathered here at the National Youth Summit on Cybersecurity. And today, this time is the third year that it's happening. And I'm sure you had a scrumptious meal and probably back and all set and ready to listen into a few presentations. And the next speaker we have is Dr. Buddhima Subasinghe. She's the youngest PhD holder of South Asia who graduated at 25 years of age from the University of Peradeniya in the field of cybersecurity, computer science. She holds 10 years of experience in media as a presenter of Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation. She was the Toastmasters International USA Leadership and Training Institute Chair, District 82, Sri Lanka from 2017 to 2018. Currently, she serves as the president of the NIBM Toastmasters Club. She was also awarded the Emerging ICT Leader of the Year National Excellence Award at Infotel 2017. And she was also internationally recognized at the Top 50 Women Awards 2018 for her leadership excellence in information technology. And she is currently the head of Department of Computer Science at NIBM. It's a pleasure to have Dr. Buddhima Subasinghe with us, and she will be touching on the topic, stepping to a smart world as a visionary leader.
Good afternoon, everyone. How was the meal? It was good? Yes? Yes? You had a good lunch? Okay, superb. So I'm sure you're going to have the best energy of the day because you've had a wonderful lunch. Yes? Superb. So today we are going to speak about how we can become a visionary leader while we step onto a digital world. I'm sure you were given a lot of presentations, a lot of knowledge on the different aspects of cybersecurity, cyber crimes, cybercrime investigation, conflict resolution. Didn't they? Yes, the previous speakers? Yes, superb. So now we are going to speak about, rather learn about, how can we become a visionary leader? A leader that can make a difference as you step onto this digital world. So my dear students, life is a beautiful journey. Yes, it has ups, it has downs, it has twists, it has turns. Yes, it's a beautiful expedition. So in this beautiful life that we live in, I want to ask you one question. How many of you truly believe that you're a leader? How many of you believe you're a leader? A raise of hands. Yes? Anybody who can say, I am a leader? Raise of hands? Yes. We have about 10-15 people in the audience of about 450 people. Yeah? Have you ever thought, ever since the day we were born to this world, we have been leading our lives? Have you ever thought about it? Yes? So in that aspect, aren't we all leaders? Yes or no? Aren't we all leaders? Yes? Can I have a better yes? Yes. Superb, great. So we are all leaders, right? But the question is, how can we become a visionary leader? How can we become a visionary leader? So my dear students, in this country, not only in Sri Lanka, but also in different platforms, we speak a lot about two problems that nations really go through, which is a common problem in Sri Lanka. I'm sure the teachers, the academics would strongly agree with me. Problem number one that we face is the knowledge gap. When you start going to school, yes, what happens is, I'm sure we have teachers around us. What do? The teacher comes to class and then gives us the notes. We write it down with the full stop, with the comma, with the question mark and everything. We write down what she puts down on the board or what the teacher would read out. when the teacher comes to class. Yes? Don't we do that? Yes, we do that. Even currently, I did it back then when I was in school. Right now also we have a similar setup in schools. So what happens? The teacher spoon feeds education. Yeah? And we digest it. We go back home, cram for the exams, and we come and write the term test. We get 85 marks, 90 marks. Yeah? You become the class first, grade first, good to go. Yeah, that's what we believe. And then we come to university. Yeah, and we are taught a set of subjects. We are being taught a set of subjects in the first year, second year, third year, and fourth year. And sometimes in the fourth year of the university, we learn subjects like artificial intelligence, microcontroller programming, robotics, right? Deep learning, and things like that. Probably would have heard about these terms today. Yeah? Sometimes it happens in the fourth year of education, and we try to develop a simple robot in the final year of university. And we think, wow, I've done an amazing invention and innovation. Yeah? But back there, when we speak of the students who go to school in Japan, they study these modules in their grade 5 of their schools. Yes? Yes. This is the situation where we are in Sri Lanka. So, as leaders, are we here to just complain about education? No. That's not what we have to be ready for. We have to become change makers. We have to be people who are inquisitive to learn. Yes? And I'm sure you're fortunate to be in a forum like this, organized by Circa, being a campus, giving this knowledge to the students to bridge this knowledge gap. We have a knowledge gap when it comes to education, because in the final year, also, sometimes we cram the modules. We expect the teachers to spoon feed the education in the same way that we have been learning back in the school. And what happens? You go to industry, you're given a job, you're given a position to take up a role. How are you going to work on it? How are you going to embrace that change had to go through in the workplace if you aren't ready with experiential knowledge that you have to gain? Now, this experiential knowledge is something that is very important for us to inculcate within us, to be creative, to read a lot, to try out new things. I'm sure you learned a lot of things today in this conference with regards to the new technologies that are going to take the world. Yes, and it's important that we become ready as the future leaders of this nation to embrace the change. My dear students, and also, you're lucky being in the 4th Industrial Revolution. We are all living in the 4th Industrial Revolution. Things are changing rapidly, and in the next 10 years, you will not be the person who goes to the bank to stay in a queue to do a transaction. You wouldn't be the person who is going to stay in the bus stand to take a bus. Everything will be digitized. We will be gradually connected to the smart world, whether we like it or not. But the question is, are we open-minded to be ready for this change? Yes? So this is what I'm going to tell you today. How can we become a visionary leader to accept the change and to move forward to succeed in life? Are we up for it? Yes? Yes. Great. Can I have a better yes? Yes. Superb. Great. Point number 1. Now I'm going to ask you these things before we conclude, right? So you're going to learn it along with me. Point number 1, in the path of becoming a visionary leader is to discover yourself. Discover the true potential that lies within you. Very important. Now, when I tell you to discover yourself, you might ask me, how can we do it? 2 steps. Number 1, become a risk taker in life. How can we take risks in life? Let me tell you a little bit about my story. How many of you went to school when you were 6 years old? Yes? Raise of hands. Superb. Majority. I went to school when I was 2.5 years old. Life was terrible. That's where my journey starts, my friends. I went to school with a milk bottle. I didn't even give the opportunity for the other students in the class to learn. Yeah? My parents were working. All they wanted to do was to push me to a school, and there they pushed me to a school when I was just 2.5 years. Now what happens? Each grade I get promoted, and I also was subjected to a double promotion in a smaller grade, and I become the youngest possible kid in the class. Everybody in the class would be either 4 or 5 years elder to me. Life became hectic. How many of you go through bullying in school? Bullying in school, openly. Raise of hands. Yeah? So I was in the same boat. I went through a lot of bullying in school. I was locked up in the washrooms. My textbooks were stolen. My notebooks were stolen. Yeah? If somebody takes a pen or a pencil from the other person's pencil case, I was supposed to be the person to buy it for that person. Yeah. So I had to literally do everything in the class if somebody goes wrong with something. Right? So I was the guinea pig. Life was terrible in school. I was thinking to myself, is this going to be the end of my life? Or am I going to stand up for myself? And there was this day, I still remember, in the annual prize giving ceremony of the school. I was seated right at the back, of course at BMICH. I was wondering, there are these students who get prizes for 5 to 6 subjects, and they get the class prize, and they become the first in the class. They get so many awards. And I thought, oh wow, this person is so popular. He or she gets a lot of attention from the teachers to the parents to the friends to the people who come for the event. And they're like, wow, he is amazing. Why can't I be like that one day? I was an average kid in the smaller grades. With the greatest difficulty, I was passing the exams. Because at a very younger age, there I am in a class. And then I thought to myself, I need to work hard. Harder and harder. And I realized that education is going to be the only weapon that's going to help me stand up for myself, to help me stand up with my ground. And there I worked hard, and I was able to sit for the ordinary level examination when I was just a 13-year-old kid. A-levels at 15 years. Life became even hectic. Back in the days, if I was taken to a toy shop, I would run and get a doctor set for myself. I would wear the stethoscope and do everything possible at home. That was my dream, to become a medical doctor. Any one of you who want to become a medical doctor here? Doctors? Yes? Superb. So I was one of you with a dream of becoming a medical doctor to serve the people of this country. That was my dream. But unfortunately, I went to an international school. I joined a foreign university. Of course, I joined a national university also later on. But I was not able to get into the Colombo Medical College to pursue my higher education in medicine. So, did I stop my life there? Just because I couldn't pursue my dream of becoming a medical doctor? No, I didn't. Life is a beautiful journey, like I told you in the beginning. It's an expedition. It has ups, it has downs, it has sorrowful moments. It's just like a piano. You get the white keys representing the happier moments, the most exhilarating moments of life, the moments that we cherish the most, and also we have black keys representing the difficult moments, the hard moments, sometimes moments that we can't take. Sometimes we feel like giving up. But the most harmonious music is created by the combination of both the black and the white keys. Yeah? So we have to take things positively. I went through a lot of hardships, especially when I had to give up on my ambition. Somebody asks me in the younger age, what do you want to be? A doctor. I want to wear a stethoscope. I want to serve people of this country. But I was not able to do it, unfortunately. But I didn't stop there. I thought when I was doing my advanced level examination, I took up 4 subjects, bio, chemistry, physics, and applied ICT. Because I knew that ICT, technology, computer science is what's going to change the world. I read a lot. And without ICT, there wouldn't be a future world. So I took up ICT. And there I realized that there are much more avenues than just medical science. And I pursued my career in computer science. And I thought, wow, I've come all this way. Why can't I work a little more harder and push myself to keep a record to become the youngest PhD holder? My friends, life was never easy. I joined university when I was 16 years old. I was the youngest undergraduate then. Life was complicated. Just imagine 16-year-old in a university with a batch of 2,800 people. Life was difficult. I was bullied. I became the team leader, the project leader who had to do all the presentations. But I took everything positively. I thought, oh wow, if the team is going to appoint me as the leader always, why not I take it? Embrace opportunities. In life, each moment, sometimes we feel like we are let down. Remember, there's an opportunity out there waiting for you. Just like when I was in the university and I had to do all the presentations, I had to take up all the leadership opportunities that came up because I was the youngest in the team. She has to do it. Yeah? So I took it up with a smile, worked hard. I even wrote notes as to how the other people have to do the presentation in the university, taught them, got them to practice, and then I also did my presentation along with them. Yeah. I had no option, else I was going to get bullied. But each opportunity that was thrown at me, I grasped it and I made most out of it. And that's what matters at the end of the day. So my friends, At 16, I joined university, and by 19, I complete my double degree, computer science, software engineering, specializing in information technology. And then I think to myself, wow, software engineering, computer science, interesting areas, but what's next? I couldn't pursue my career as a medical doctor. And is this going to stop here? No. I thought that I'm going to keep a record as the youngest PhD holder. I skipped masters and I started on a direct PhD. Life became even miserable. Generally, when you do masters, you learn about 20 modules and you're good to go. Yeah? With a direct PhD, life becomes even difficult because you need to study all of those modules. And then I think of an area, and then I researched to find that cybersecurity is what's going to take over the world in the next years to come. Looking at the future, having a vision, planning life is key to success. Yes? So there I selected cybersecurity as the specialization for my PhD. I still remember there were countless number of days where I did not sleep at all. I didn't see a sunrise or a sunset. I was focused and focused only on my goal and goal only, until the day that I achieved my dream of becoming the youngest PhD holder. So my friends, another thing, when I was 19 years after completing a double degree, I joined Sri Lanka Institute of Information Technology as a staff member. I taught there for 2.5 years. And then I converted my PhD from part-time to full-time when I knew I was able to keep a record. And that decision I had to take that day to give up on my job was a risk. I still remember coming home that day, walking up to my dad and telling him, "Dad, I gave up on my job. I resigned." And he told me that I am not doing the right thing. And this is going to bring a lot of problems to family, friends. And this is not the right thing for you to do. You're having a permanent job and you're going to give up on it? Or have you already given up on it? And I was able to convince him, to tell him that this was for a cause. So my friends, life is challenging. Point number 1, discover yourself. To discover yourself, you need to take risks in life, just like I did. I gave up on my job and focused full-time on my PhD, yet I achieved it. And jobs are everywhere now. Yes? That's what matters the most. So in life, if you want to achieve something, it's important that you have a goal and you have a focus and you work towards it. And while you work towards it, it's important to know that there are certain risks that we have to take. And you have to become a problem solver. Second point, in discovering your true potential, in discovering yourself. Because in life, we get problems. Sometimes we can't make a decision, yeah? And then we keep worrying about the problem. There are 2 problems at the end of the day. So you have to become a problem solver. If you can't pursue your career in a particular field that you have been dreaming for, there is no worry. There are enough and more avenues available. Technology is advancing, and we are stepping onto a connected world. And in a connected world, there's so much more opportunities available, and all we need to do is to grab it and make most out of it. Second point, in terms of becoming a visionary leader, is mastering communication. Now, we see a lot of students who graduate from universities, who come for interviews, but they aren't able to introduce themselves to the interview panel. So this is another knowledge gap that we need to fix ourselves. If we don't fix it, we won't be able to step into this future world that we are speaking about. Yes, English is an international language. It's a universal language now. The mode of communication around the world. Irrespective of whether we like it or not, we should be able to be conversant with the language that's commonly being used in all parts of the world, which we speak of as English language. Very important. Communication means passing a message across. Have you ever thought why we have 2 ears but one mouth? To listen carefully and to speak effectively, to get the message across to the other person. So in this getting the message across, you should be able to be conversant. There is no point if you become the best software engineer of the world if you aren't able to collect the requirements from the company to whom you are going to give the solution to. Mastering communication is therefore key. The third and the final point that I'd like to highlight in your journey of becoming a visionary leader is emotional intelligence. We speak a lot about emotional intelligence. We speak a lot about this buzzword, yeah? But it's not something that we can learn in books. And we see as technology is advancing, as the world is taken over by the robots, human values are degrading. Human values are degrading. So as the students who are moving on to the future world as leaders, it's important that you give priority for human values. Appreciate one another. Acknowledge one another. When was the last time you walked up to your mom or dad or said that you are the greatest dad of my life? You're the greatest mom of the world, and given her a hug to appreciate her for what she has done, to acknowledge her for what she has done, to appreciate him for who he is. Human values, seeing in another's point of view, getting into another's shoes when you think of a problem. Emotional intelligence. So what are the three key factors of becoming a visionary leader? Point number 1, 2, yes, louder, discover yourself. Can you repeat after me? Number 2, to master communication. Yes? Number 3, emotional intelligence. Yes. So life is a journey. Dreams, all of us, we dream while we are asleep and while we are awake. But the question is, the dream that you sleep while you're sleeping and while you're awake, is it the same? And if that's the same, all dreams can truly be achieved and can be accomplished if the right action is taken towards its achievement. And in this journey of achieving your dreams of life, please embrace change, and be the people who embrace new technology and be creative leaders with a vision. And that's when you can succeed in life. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Buddhima Subhasinghe, for touching on stepping to a smart world as a visionary leader. And we would like to present you with a token of appreciation. And to do the honors, I would like to invite Mr. Vasana Vikramasena. Thank you very much. And we will now have yet another interesting demonstration by Sikra Consultancies.
What's up?
We're going to move on to the next topic, which is on safe internet use. We've been speaking about cybersecurity, about social networking, and of course about the ups and downs, and also the threats you might face. So this is about how you could use the internet safely. So this will be done by Mr. Dayalan Nagaratnam, Information Security Engineer, Certified Ethical Hacker, and also a lecturer. Dayalan is an ambitious cybersecurity enthusiast currently employed at Sri Lanka Cert CC as an information security engineer. He is also a visiting lecturer. He obtained his Master's MSc in Information Security from Royal Holloway and BSc in Computing and Information Systems from Portsmouth University, London. And he's reading for CISSP, Red Hat, RHCSA and RHCE. It's over now to Dayalan Nagaratnam.
Hello guys, good afternoon. Can all of you hear me? I think you've had full days of lectures and unfortunately it's going to be one of that, but I'll try and keep you guys alive. I know everyone has been talking about data and what happens and all that, so this is not something that I added to my presentation, but then during lunch I just wanted to put this video for you guys, for you to know what happens to the data that people collect online, right? So we'll kick off with this and see how it goes. Sorry, hold on. It's okay. Yes, yes. It's okay. I don't want to waste time.
Yes. Look around you, Mitchell. This is the free internet. We do everything here. We connect with friends on Facebook, search for information on Google, and all of it's free.
Yeah, free. Wait, actually, how do these sites make money?
I'll tell you, but you may not like where the rabbit hole goes.
So, do I choose a pill or?
Oh, no, these are my allergy medications. This one's for pollen, and this one's for lactose.
Where are we? What is this place?
This is the internet of the real. The truth is, these services aren't free at all. You pay for them with your very identity. When you use Facebook, they log everything you do. The pages you like, the people you interact with, even the words in your status updates. Then they take that information, analyze it, and assemble a detailed profile of who you are. They know your habits, your preferences. They can even determine your risk tolerance or sexual orientation. And then they sell that information to advertisers.
One risk-taking homosexual, please.
Sorry, it's my fault, guys. I thought he was plugged in, but then the charger has not been on. Okay, put it. So yeah, something wrong with the plug point, so
doing business with you.
Wait, how do they know? I'm not even out at work yet.
Hey, I didn't know you were gay. And so adventurous.
That's not a hypothetical. This actually happened to a woman in Tampa.
That is problematic, but come on, we all know they're showing us ads.
Yeah, but we don't know how deep Facebook's tentacles really go. They actually record which ads we see, then partner with firms that monitor what we do in the real world.
Jacob liked the page Bacon is Bay last week. We showed him an ad for your double bacon heart attack burger. He just bought one in Duluth.
Clearly susceptible to the campaign. Let's pump them full of ads.
I guess I got room for one more.
This has got to be one of the most invasive advertising systems ever devised. Facebook can actually determine who's the most vulnerable to an ad campaign, then up their dosage till they buy even more.
Well, I'll simply delete my Facebook account. I'm gonna miss those ex-girlfriend pictures, but it's worth it not to be tracked, right?
Sure, you can quit Facebook, but good luck escaping Google.
That's me.
But I'm not even on Google. I'm on a private website.
Exactly. Google doesn't just track you when you search. Their tracking software is also installed on over 10 million websites, even medical sites. So that health info you think you're looking up in private, Google's got a front row seat.
Mitchell has erectile dysfunction. I know a drug company that would get rock hard for that information.
And that's not all. Every time you write a Gmail, watch a YouTube video, or use Google Maps, Google collects data about you.
God, no.
We don't even know the full extent of what Facebook and Google store or what they do with it. All we know is that they're collecting our data on an unprecedented scale and making billions off of it. That's their real business model. They're monetizing us. When we use these sites, we're not the customer, we're the product.
Why? How?
Hello, Mitchell. I've been waiting for you.
Now you're parodying the second Matrix movie?
What? It's the best one. Mitchell, this is Ethan Zuckerman. He's the director of the MIT Center for Civic Media.
Mitchell, the fact that the sites are free is the problem. When the web was created, we, the users, decided we would rather have free stuff than pay money for the services we used. As a result, the websites have had to sell ads to make money. They target ads to us based on our preferences and our behavior online. And that means we're under constant surveillance in exchange for these services that we get for free.
1 in 6 people on Earth now has a Facebook account, and they make up 20% of all time spent online.
That's 1.6 billion people whose every move is being tracked by an online big brother that they chose to live under.
No.
And here's the kicker. You want to know how much revenue your personal data is worth to Facebook? For every user they surveil, they make just $12.
No.
Your interests, your personality, your relationships, your privacy, those things are priceless. But you gave them all away just to avoid paying $12.
No, that can't be. That's not possible.
Well, there is a bright side. You want to hear about it?
No. Shut up. Shut up. Let me out.
He's gonna pop.
Let me out. I want to get out.
You know, this happens to all my friends. Hey guys.
Right, okay. Just want you two guys to be up. How was the video? Good? Does that mean that I don't want you to use social media? Or I don't want you to be using Google, Gmail? Okay, something to talk about. Okay. So, well, I'm Dayalan from Sri Lanka CERT. So we're going to basically talk on safe internet use. It's my duty to give you a bit of information about CERT because it's being a government entity. I think it's my responsibility. Got a lot of students over here. So we function under the Ministry of Digital Infrastructure and Information Technology Agency. And yes, we are the National Center for Cybersecurity. We have our services. Probably you can look it up on our site. And we've had a lot of speakers talking to you on various things. But I want to highlight places where you can go to if you have a problem. That's important. You need to know where you can step into. I know obviously you can speak to your parents, your teachers at school, your good friends. But there are people out there who you can seek help from. One is Sri Lanka CERT. Obviously, if you do have an incident related to security-related incidents, either any of your accounts being hacked or compromised, there are high chances we can get your accounts back to you. That's number one. Then you can obviously go to police. They're there to help you. NCPA, the National Child Protection Authority. That's something you need to know. Just 1929. It's free on your mobile if you want to call them. And they're there to support. They would keep information private in between them. If you've been harassed, if you've been bullied, anything that happens online, if you need some help, not just online, even offline. Right? Okay, so these are the people that you need to know, that you can go and seek them in case of an emergency. I'd like to throw out a question to you. Right? All these have been spoken right from the first speaker, but I want to see if any of you can give me those answers. Right? So what are the two most important factors to consider to protect yourself when browsing the internet for any purposes? Anyone? Read the question again. Right? Okay. We'll come back to the question. I'll give you some time to think. But it has already been spoken this morning. The two most important factors. Right. I want you to think of, I'm here trying to address the youth, especially the one at school. I want to think of your home. Think of the documents, whatever you have, your jewels or the cash, whatever is given to you or your parents have. You put in a cupboard, you lock it up, and the key is only known to your parents. If it's your drawer, the key is only known to whom? To you. Do you share the key with anyone else? No, you don't. You keep it to yourself. Right? And whenever you access your cupboard, you make sure you close it. Do you or don't you? Or your room, if sometimes there are things that you want to have it just for yourself. Yes? So you want to make sure that no one else can have access to it. So you keep it, it's with you. And you always have access, but then you make sure you lock it and keep it safe. Let's look at those documents. Sometimes you might have some personal letters or some confidential information on a piece of paper. Sometimes you don't want another person to know about it. What do? You burn it. Yes or no? Most of you do. You don't leave any trace. And look at your cupboards. Now, it depends on, if it's a cupboard, you buy different sort of padlocks. If it's your house gate, your parents will obviously go for a better one, yes? If it's your front door, again, the type of lock will be different, yes or no? And always you do check them. Okay, is a gate lock, is it working properly or is it malfunction? Then what do? Do you change them or you don't? You change the locks? Your parents do change or not? Or you just guys, no, it's okay, no one will get into our house. It's safe, let's leave it. Yes? You're not going to. This is what we do in our ordinary life. Do we or don't we? Yes? I don't hear any yeses. Is that a yes or no? Okay. So how about when you're online? You log into your email, you specially browse the internet on your friends, or you go to net cafes. Do you tend to log out? Do you? There are times I do lecturing, I go to the lectures PC. Most of the time there are even lecturers who have not logged out themselves on certain social media and Gmail and all that. We tend to forget. Imagine if someone posts something or goes through your message or goes through your email box or sent messages and all that. Will that be a problem to you or not? No? Something for you to think. Again, looking at passwords. Well, keys, we always lock it and we keep it safe. We don't give it to anyone. But when it comes to passwords, what do? We write down and have it on a piece of paper. Or we have it on our phones. Or either we use simple passwords. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Or password is password. You know, that's a common password which is being used. Do you know that? Seriously, yes. Okay? Or use the same password for everything. Right? And also, most of you use your personal information as your password. If I ask you how many of you would say yes, probably you will not say yes now, but I'm sure you're using your personal information as your passwords. That is, it could be your name, ID, your date of birth, your address, your mother's maiden name, and all that. So never use those information. We'll come to that. Let's think that you print out some documents or your bank statements. What do you do sometimes? You don't think there's so much of information in that, but you just give it away for papers. You sell it off for a couple of bucks. You send it away to the paper man. Or you just put it into the bin without tearing it off or shredding it. Finally, the passwords. Either, when do you think about passwords? Either you forgot your password or you have lost access to your account. Either when your account is compromised, that is when you think of changing your passwords. Now what I want you to reflect is about your offline world and online world. If you can do all these things in your offline world and can be normal, why cannot you not apply the same thing in your online world? Yes or no? You log into your cupboards, you log into your accounts. You make sure you log in and you log out. Yes? So this is something that I want you to reflect. Nothing major, simple. Because you want to be safe at the end of the day. You want to make sure that no one else has access to your accounts. And that is not a joke. Yes? Imagine someone having access to your Facebook or Gmail or whatever it is. What that person can do? Literally could blackmail you. Yes? So you don't want to get into those situations. So whatever you do apply on your offline world, I want you to convert that into an online world. That's all. Simple. Keep it simple. Right. I'm not forgetting the question yet. Let's get back. Anyone? Actually, I wanted to bring a couple of gifts to give away if you do answer, but then it was unexpectedly started raining this morning, and I forgot. So I don't have anything to give you. But yes, I want to hear from the audience. Or I may ask the teachers if the students don't. So please. Anyone? What are the two very important things that you would consider? Username and password. Okay. Yes, partially I would agree with you, sir. Anyone? So you have anything for me? Right at the back. You have any answers? Yes? Identity. You're getting closer. Yes. What do we call that? How can we phrase that? privacy. Yes? Something is very important. People have spoken about that. That is one factor. Okay. So what do you mean by privacy? It's just about hiding information? I've seen a lot of posts and I've seen a lot of people visiting our office. Well, we do handle incidents, but sadly now we are known as the Facebook company in Sri Lanka, right? So what people do is they share information which they think that they should not share, but they happen to share. And then you think about, why did I share this? It's too late because someone archives it or someone takes a screenshot of what you posted and it just could come back to you. So you should always be careful, thoughtful in terms of what you want to post online. Yes? The more information you give about yourself to someone else, which means you're losing your privacy. Yes? So you should always be very watchful. This is one thing. So you need to look at, let's take Facebook as an example. Do you think they have given you the settings? Have they given you the controls to put things in order? Yes or no? They have given you the option. Who can see your posts? Who can see your friend list? Who can tag you on a post? Yes or no? On Gmail if you take, yes, do they have privacy settings? Of course they do. But how many of you have actually implemented those privacy settings? Anyone? That is vital. This is vital. It's not just about Facebook. It's not just about Gmail. Any account you open online, one of the things that you need to consider is privacy. That's very important. You've got to get those settings right. You don't want to be leaking your personal information. That's very important. Yes? As people have spoken before, your identity can be stolen. You don't want that. Right? I think I have a quick video for you.
Dag Fien. Dus even voilà. Ik zie een school tegen Antwerpen.
Ja.
Insecten.
Dat blieft?
Ik voel 2 insecten op je rug. Kan dat?
Ja, vlinders.
Slovenie? Slovenie?
Sorry.
Een moto. Oranje.
Pas erop.
Zenit?
Oui, oui, bien.
Je hebt een vriendin, Julie de...
Ja.
Een boeiend liefdesleven. 3, 4 zelfs.
Die 4e, daar zwijg ik meestal over, dus dat weten niet veel mensen.
Hoe is het met je spierscheur? Une maison rouge, balcon blanc. Ja. Ik zie geld, ik zie transacties, maar kent je rekeningnummer van buiten? Ik denk dat ik het wel weet. Die staat wel negatief op je bankrekening.
Ja?
9-7. Last month, you spent €200 on alcohol. Vorige maand €300 aan kleding gespendeerd. 8.
Ja.
5. Voor een huis dat van eigenaar gaat veranderen. €795.000.
Ja, eigenlijk.
41.
Ja.
Is dat juist?
Ja, dat is juist. Oh my god. Oh nee. Ah, dat is, ik weet niet hoe eng.
Right, okay. We're running out of time, so I just want to be quick. So you got the point. So when you start posting information about yourself, there are people out there to collect for different purposes. Let's think you want to sell something on, there are a lot of sites in Sri Lanka where you can sell stuff online, yes? For example, something, Ikman is quite popular, yes, for example. Now there are times even you post something to sell, there are people who are trying to call you. How do they get your numbers? Again, you're posting to sell something, and there are people out there to collect numbers and to create a database, yes? So it's quite challenging, right? Something you to think. So privacy is number one. If your privacy is gone, it's going to be difficult. One thing I want to remind you again, you're students today. Tomorrow, do you know what your future holds? Do you? Probably you can aim for, but you never know. You can be the president, or you can become a popular singer, a sportsman. It could be any of that. And whatever you do now, you don't want those things to be highlighted when you get to that stage. Yes? And that might literally affect you. So always think. Digital footprint, a gentleman who spoke before, whatever you put online, you can't erase it back. There's always someone to archive, take a backup, a copy of it. So always something to think about. And once you post it, this is how you'll be in your room. What can I do? My photos got leaked. This happened, that happened. There's nothing much you can do. Yes? So you need to think before you post. So what is the other thing? So two most important things to consider. One is the privacy. The other is what that sir said. What is it? Security. Now that's important. Now what is security? The measures you can take in order to protect your account. Simple as passwords. Are they important or not? Very important, right? Now everyone spoke about passwords. There were a few speakers. What I want you to tell about passwords especially is, we've heard a lot of things, but in practice, how can you have different passwords for different accounts? Do all of you have that? How many of you have different passwords for different accounts? Can you put your hands up? Sure, not bad. So what is your strategy? You got a good memory power or got a large memory? What's your memory size? So tell me, I'm interested. What's your strategy? Same passwords? Different. Okay. So what's your strategy then? You keep it on your diary. So one of you said, and what do? I want to hear you guys. I mean, see, I'm here to speak to you. Right? So I want you to take something home. Right? It's not just a day out with your teachers here. You've got to take something back to your school. Yes? So tell me, how do you have different passwords to different accounts? Most of you said yes. Tell me how. Anyone? Okay. Well, I'll give you a way in which you can do that. Right? You can come up with a phrase rather than a password. Password is one. Now, my name is Dayalan. If I'm to bring up a password for my Facebook account as Dayalan at my date of birth or something, I've said never use your personal information, some numbers. Then again, for what about Gmail? What about Yahoo? What about Hotmail? Yes? What about my office mail? So what sort of a strategy do I have? How do I create? Probably you're confused. So I just wanted to tell you, you come up with a simple phrase. Now I come up with something called Don is great, right? Okay, it doesn't matter what you come up with, no one knows about your password. You can come up with some phrase in Sinhala, convert it into English, or in Tamil to English, or any other language that you know, just into English. Yes? Obviously, you have to type in English. And then you can always create kind of a pattern. Creating pattern is not a great thing. But here the catch is, if you can come up with a very strong phrase where another person would not guess, then you're safe. Yes? Than writing on a diary. So you can come up, you can still use special characters, you can still use letters. All what you have to do is come up with a phrase. And then at the beginning of the phrase, in the middle, or at the end, you can put whatever it is. Let's say Yahoo, you put Yahoo. Yes? If you want, you can create that Yahoo just in capital. Or first 3 letters of Yahoo, or first 3 letters of Facebook, or all in capital. Yes, you can create a pattern. Can you or can't you? Okay, that's important. Simple as that. So here what you need to have is a phrase. If you can come up with a phrase where someone else cannot think of, you're fine. But don't let me in, let me log in, not those common things. You need to understand when choosing the phrase. That's very important. Because if your account is to be compromised, yes? So that's important. A few things about password that I want you to think of. Now, take an example of your toothbrush. How often do you guys change it? How often do you change? You don't? He's thinking, right, okay. So probably every now and then, whenever you feel like it's not brushing well, it's one of those things. The password should be the same. You've got to change them quite frequently. But again, coming up with a phrase is not difficult. Is it difficult? I've given you a pattern. So first thing, you go home today. Now don't forget all your passwords. Sit down, think of a good phrase. Yes, write it down, create a pattern for yourself, and do not share. That's a secret code just for yourself. You should not be sharing password with anyone else. That's just for you. Okay? Right, okay. So those are the two most important factors that you need to think when you are on the internet. One is privacy, the other is security. It doesn't matter what you do online. These are the two important things that you need to look into, and make sure you get them right before you start getting onto that site and doing whatever you want. Because your safety and privacy is utmost important. You may not think about it right now, but later at your stage, as you grow up, as you become a professional, as I said, if you are to become a minister or the prime minister, you never know what your future holds for you. And you don't want to regret things later. Keep that in mind. Right, I've just got some stats over here, which is from our cybersecurity strategy. Probably you might wonder what that is. I'm not going to talk about that to you. But if you can see the incident that has been reported to CERT from 2012 to 2017. Rather than the major incidents, it's all about social media, most of them. Yes? And if you look at the numbers, they've been hiking from 82. 2017, there has been 3,685 cases, and today we've had over 4,000 this year. Why is it? Why is it increasing? That is what we are here. That is what this youth summit is for. It's about education. It's about awareness. Doesn't matter what controls are in place. Unless you're being told what to do, you would not know what to do. Right? So awareness is very important. Right. I'm not sure if I can play all videos for you, but
Ramesh and Nagia. Lions Club. International Press. Hello, මොකද අවුල? ඔව් ඉතින් කෙල්ලෝ එහෙම තමයි. හරි. ඉස්සෙල්ලා රික්වෙස්ට් එකක් දාන්නකෝ. ඔව්. ඊට පස්සේ බලමු මොකද වෙන්නේ කියලා. hina යනෝනේ අකෝ. හෙට ගන්න. දැන් තියන්නම් හරි. හරි ඕකේ මචං. හරි තිබ්බා. හරි. මොකෝ උදේ පාන්දර? මොකක්? මගේ ප්‍රොෆයිල් එකේ? කවුද කියන්නේ? ඒක බං අපේ අම්මා තාත්තාත් ඉන්නෝනේ. කවුද කියන්නේ? මං එහෙම එකක් දැම්මේ නෑ බං. නෑ උඹට වැරදිලා. මම මේ දැන් නැගිට්ටේ බං. මම එහෙම ආදල්ලක් ගන්න නෑ බං පිස්සුද? නෑ වෙන්න බෑ. පොඩ්ඩක් ඉඳලා මම බලන්න. විනාඩියක් දියා. ටක් ගාලා ගන්නවා නිපෙද්ද. ඔහොම ඉඳලා. හරි පොඩ්ඩක් ඉඳලා.
I think you got the story. Yes? So with the interest of time, I just want to move on. So this is what happens when you when you click on unnecessary things online, and this is another post. Again, it's about, these are real posts. These are real posts. And you guys and girls, when you're at school, so you've got to be careful what you take, and when it gets leaked out, you do not know where they are. So you've got to be careful on the photos you post and also what you take on your phone. You've got to be responsible. Because, for example, I hold this phone right now. I'll be frank with you, I would not have anything inappropriate. Why? Why? It's password protected, whatever. Doesn't mean that I would have this phone as I leave this place. I may lose it. Someone can take it. Anything going to happen, yes? So it's not safe. So you got to think about this. I'm just going to something. Do you see that? For a doctor. Yes. So you got to be sensible in terms of what you post. Sometimes you got so much of people around, but at the funeral, when there's a funeral, but if I ask you how many friends do you have on your Facebook, on your social media platform? How many? How many of them do you know personally? Yes? So go home, work on it, get those people out. Right. I think there was a few demos which was on phishing, so I'm just going to skip this. Something you need to click. One thing is to check on any URL, and I would say if you're not sure of any URL, do not click on it. It can be a phishing link, it can be a malware, it can be a ransomware, it could be any of that. So you do not know. If you do not have the skills to investigate on it, do not click on any links to be on the safe side. Yes? So you can have a lot of things as this. Someone can send you an email, you click on it, and it just takes you to another page. And it looks like the Facebook page or not. Does it or not? It does. But look at the URL. You do see the difference. Yes? So once again, prevent yourself from clicking on links. If you do think, let's think you've got this email, and at the same time, you posted on a day before or whatever, and you felt like you've got to change your password. If you do still want to do, you search on a search engine, Google or whatever, go to Facebook, and then you do it yourself. Do not go on links sent to you. That's important, something for you to keep in mind. Again, a few words of advice. Always be cautious who you talk to online, because if someone walk on the street and asks you for your phone number, your address, or a telephone number, would you give it to them? But on the internet, as you speak to people, you don't even know who the person on the other side is, but you give away information. I've got a few more videos, but we do not have time to play on, right? So I'm just going to skip them, but something for you to think of. That's a very nice one. If I have, I'll just play that at the end. So we spoke about this. Just want to speak about online shopping. Now, we all love shopping, don't we? Yes? And what are the basic things that you look for when you want to shop online? Right? Traditionally, if you walk into a shop, if you want to look for a product, you go for a product, someone who is specialized. You go to a shop, okay, they are good at furniture. Yes, you go to them. They're good at electronics. Likewise, when you're online, you should not just blindly go to any websites and just purchase things. You should see if they have a reputation, or how many customers, do they have information being updated, is it a legitimate site? Things that you need to look into before you see. And not just about HTTP, HTTPS. Yes, that plays a role. If they don't have an HTTPS or SSL certificate, that means the data is not encrypted. Yes, you would not walk into a shop which is not safe enough. It's the same thing online, right? Something for you to think. Again, browser. That's you do everything on your browser. Yes, your house is like your browser. Without the browser, can you do anything on the internet? No. Whatever you download, for example, if you want to download something, go to the vendor site. Let's think you want to get some drivers, Dell drivers. You go to the vendor site, not just from a third-party site. Yes? Using torrents, you never know where it'll take you to. So always be careful. Adding extensions, look at permission. What sort of permission does it require for you to download certain applications or add-ons? Right? If you get your browsers wrong, then you're totally compromised. Again, stick to the basics, then you're fine. Again, email, which is another very most important thing. I know we cannot prevent ourselves from using Gmail, Hotmail, or Yahoo. Yes, can we? Because we don't have free mails. You can use them, and as you know, emails are being read by them. But you've got to be careful, especially not to reveal or not to give out any personal information via email, not your passwords or anything sensitive. You may have emails as this. Again, it's phishing. They send you this, and you click on the link, and when you put your username and password, you don't have access to your account no longer because someone else changes your credentials. Something for you to think. Again, if you don't click on unnecessary links, if you have checked who has sent you, yes, there are times someone can spoof your emails. That is there, I don't say no, right? Then again, you've got to be a bit more advanced by looking at the headers, okay? But then, what you need to think is, if anyone is asking something very critical, very important via email, don't share that, simple as that, right? We don't have time for this. Device security, another thing. Your device, whatever you use, the minimum protection you can give is a password, a lock, patent lock. You've got to have them on your devices. That's important. If anyone can have access to your device, you're gone. I think that's a demo. If someone has access to your laptop or your mobile phone, it's gone. So you've got to have it with you. You've got to keep it safe. And you need to make sure what sort of things you download, the applications, what sort of permission does it require. You're trying to download a Torch application, for example, and it requests you your access to gallery and your photos and all that. Does a Torch application need access to such things? Does it? For a Torch application to work, it doesn't. So that tells you that this is malicious. So do not go for it. There was a time where people, hundreds and thousands of people downloaded a fake WhatsApp. Not the original, but the fake one, and got their accounts compromised. It is your responsibility. You've got to think carefully, right? It's like allowing someone into your house. How about you just getting a random guy into your house? Is that going to be good? It won't be interesting. Yes? So you've got to allow only things that you know. If you allow your friends, you know. It's the same thing when it comes to your phone. You've got to know what sort of permission does it require from you, and then you install it. If not, just do not install. If I have time, I'll just play one of these videos. I think it's important. So this is especially I want to tell you.
What's up, guys? I'm Kobe Person. How easy is it for a pedophile to pick up an underage child using social media? Well, today we're going to find that out. I made a fake profile on Facebook posing as a 15-year-old boy. With the parents' permission, I friend requested 3 girls ages 14, 13, and 12 years old. I've been talking to these girls for the last 3 or 4 days, and today we're supposed to meet up. What we found in this video is shocking and something everyone should see. Be sure to watch until the end and use what we've learned in this video to better educate your friends and family. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. This first girl, her name is Michaela. She's 13 years old. We've been talking on Facebook for the last couple of days, and we're supposed to meet up at the park later when her parents leave the house. I'm just waiting right now to get the text that her parents have left the house. So I just got a text. My parents just left, I can be at the park in 10 minutes. We're gonna go see if she comes in 10 minutes. We're gonna go right now, set up all the cameras, and just be waiting there for her. So she said she's gonna meet me at the park playground. So this is the closest to her house, she said. So right now I'm texting her that I just got here. All right, we'll just wait, see what she says. She said, okay, I'll be there in 5 minutes. Oh, she's coming, yeah. Michaela? From Facebook. You remember?
Michaela! Are you crazy? Are you out of your mind?
Sorry.
He could have been a rapist. He could have been a pedophile. Why would you do this?
Sorry.
Yeah, you know that I could have been anyone. Like you talked to me for the last 4 days. You've been talking to me on Facebook. Do you know that? Like, you shouldn't talk to strangers, especially online. Like, I wasn't even do I look the same as my picture? Could be even worse than that.
You realize how scary this could have been? Come here. We have to talk.
This next girl, her name is Juliana. She's 12 years old, and we're supposed to meet up tonight when her father falls asleep. So right now I'm here with John, who's Juliana's father. We're gonna see if she's actually gonna come to the door or not. She said, this was the last text, LOL, I would have to wait till my dad falls asleep if you want to chill, because I can't have boys over. So she wants to chill tonight, supposedly. What do you think about that?
I don't think she's gonna open the door. Gotta hope she doesn't open that door.
What's your address?
I pray she does not respond to this.
Well, I can't say the address, but she literally just texted the address. Start driving to the address, close by. My dad's going to drop me off. All right, so she just said, I think my dad fell asleep, you can come now. One with the light right here?
Yes.
I'm outside. Come to the front door. Are you ready? Some chill.
Juliana, get over here. Get over here. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you?
I'm sorry.
How can you do this? You're 12 years old. This guy's 20 years old. You could have been raped and murdered. We already lost your mother. What would I do if anything happened to you? What would I do if anything happened to you? I love you. Don't you ever do this again. Don't you ever do anything like this again.
I'm sorry.
This next girl, her name is Jenna. She's 14 years old. We've been talking online over text message and even had a phone conversation. So right now we have the parents of Jenna. Jenna thinks her parents are going out tonight for date night. She thinks my brother is gonna be driving, so she's gonna get in the car, but she doesn't actually know that it's all just me. So I'm gonna text her right now. Did your parents leave yet? Yeah, like 15 minutes ago. Do you think she's gonna go through with this?
No way.
Absolutely not. I don't even believe it's her.
Okay.
Probably one of her friends playing around with her.
What's your address? All right, is this your house?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, let's go. All right. We are here, come out. You don't think she's coming out?
She better not be coming out.
Oh, I see a door opening.
Yeah, please.
Yep. I see someone.
Can't believe this.
Yeah. Hop in. He's in the back, over here.
Jenna, stop! It's your mother or father! Jenna!
Right, okay. So, it's pretty clear. So, there's a lot of things that you need to look into. the things in terms of safety measures when you're online. There's not just one thing, just not social media. We spoke about browser security, your devices, anything that you're connected, right? You've got to look at all these things when you're online. So with that, I would like to end my presentation. Can I take questions or? Right, I think after this we have a session. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dayal and Nagaratan, for that interesting session on how to use internet safely. And to present a token of appreciation to our speaker, I would like to invite Mr. Bhushan Dayaratna.
No problem. You're welcome. Cheers. Thanks. Cheers.
Thank you very much once again. And we will now have a hacking demo by Sikra Consultancies.
बैटरी थी ना उधर चलो लंका
Malik. Hello. Perfect. Okay, so I didn't run away. There was some display issues, so I think that's sorted now, and we got a virtual machine up and running. So this demo is a pretty quick one. Before I start, can I ask what this is? I think it's pretty straightforward. What is this? It's an ordinary USB, right? Well, I think that's what everyone thinks. So what I have in here is, it's a normal USB, but I've planted a malware in it, right? So let's see what this malware can do, right? I have some files, and this is not my actual machine. This is a virtual machine. So what a virtual machine is, it runs on my physical machine. So this is my actual machine, and this is my virtual machine, right? So I have some files inside here, homework, assignments, and whatnot. This is what I'll do. I'll just plug this USB in, right? Just keep a note. I'm not going to touch anything. I'll just plug this USB in. And let's give it a few seconds. See, I'm not touching it. Did anyone notice what happened? Anyone notice what happened? Okay, I just went to my D drive, right, and showed you that there were some files in. Let's see what actually happened. There's nothing in. It completely formatted my D drive and completely removed all the files and folders that in just by plugging a USB. So just basically I'm not going to show you what's inside this, right? But just to sort of bring awareness that you might get USBs from your friends, or you might even find USBs probably laying around on the streets or where it is. So whenever you get it from a friend, or if you do find, obviously don't take it, but if you get it from a friend, always make sure to scan them for viruses, you'll never know what's inside. And yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that interesting demonstration, which certainly is important to all of us, because when you get a free pen drive, we try to plug it in, don't we? And we are moving on to the final topic, and it's going to be on cybersecurity education and career guidance by Mr. Bhushan Dayaratne, Group Director, CEO at Sikra Holdings. Bhushan is the Group Director, CEO of Sikra Holdings, Sri Lanka's pioneering information security training, certification and consultancy organization. During the past 5 years, Bhushan has represented Sri Lanka as a cyber security panelist at Pacific Senior Communicators Meeting, an annual gathering of the senior military communication professionals from each of the Pacific Endeavour participant nations on the invitation from the United States. Being a cybersecurity evangelist, Bhushan has promoted commencement of Sri Lanka's first bachelor's degree in cybersecurity in partnership of Deccan University, Australia. And he has an MBA from the University of Colombo. He also has a degree in business management from the University of Colombo, SMUK, and diploma in sports science in Hungarian University of Physical Education. And Bhushan was Sri Lanka's #1 tennis player during 1995 and 1996, apart from all the cybersecurity and about IT, ICT. So let me invite Mr. Bhushan Dayaratne to speak on cybersecurity education and on career guidance.
Thank you. Hi guys, all ready to go? Huh? Okay, don't worry, last session. I'll try to make it interesting for you. I think what is most important to you all is that you're on the final year, or maybe one more year to finish, either 2020 or 2021, you will be leaving school. Then what's next? What do you want to do? So my focus is going to be on few areas, and I'm going to focus on one sector, which is cybersecurity. But my suggestion to you is that before you leave, even now the guys who are going in 2020, A-levels, you need to see what you're going to do next. Are you going to go into the IT field? Are you going to go in the, want to be a doctor, want to be a lawyer, want to be whoever you want to be? But my one suggestion for you is that please think twice, because certain jobs in another 5 years won't be there in this world. Thanks to artificial intelligence, thanks to machine learning, there won't be jobs. One example, there won't be drivers around. There are driverless vehicles coming in. There won't be delivery companies. Amazon is going to start delivering goods. So likewise, there is IBM Watson coming up. It's already out. That's going to take over a lot of professions. Today, people do not rob banks. Why? They still do, but most of them don't. Why? Can somebody tell me why people do not rob banks? Or they don't try to rob banks now? They go behind data. Why? If you rob a bank, you get money once. You go rob a bank for $1 million, that's all you get. But you get data. For example, if you get 1 million IP addresses, I can trade those IP addresses in the dark or deep web, or maybe $5 IP address per month, and I can use it for multiple times. So 1 million, $5 a month, how much is that? I'm bad in my maths. $5 million. Thank you. Into 12, how much? $60 million. So if you rob a bank for $5 million, that's it. So you rob data, and that can multiply a lot of things. So you look at Yahoo, $85 million, Target, $300 million. You talk about Equifax, $1.4 billion, the cost after the data breach. So I'm going to go a little fast because in the interest of time, and I'm sure you guys have a lot of questions to be asked from the panel soon after mine. Oops, it's going on automatic. Right, hold on. Right, so if you see here, by region, and Sri Lanka, which region do we belong to? Asia Pacific. What is the percentage of breaches? 36%, and 59% from where? North America. So 36% counts to 338 breaches. And luckily Sri Lanka is not in that list. So do we need to get into that list? Want to go have a huge growth in it. This is working. So if you look at this statistics, 39 seconds, every 39 seconds, there's an attack. These are not my information. You see the sources there by 2008. So these attacks could increase or decrease by 2019. It's obviously increases. So every 39 seconds, there's an attack. 43% of those attacks are targeted at small businesses. And 30% of them are on phishing emails. I think my colleague Ride showed you how the phishing emails are done. Udita was talking about some phishing emails, and this is very famous. And also you have something called social engineering, like Udita was talking about that lady crying, the baby crying, the lady taking a call and not taking all those passwords and all that, and changing the passwords to yourself. So the average cost of a company of a breach is $21,000 per day, right? And then 14% of the companies thinks that they are still not ready for it. So these are the statistics which is available by the source by 2018, and I'm sure by 2019 it might be even more. Right. So what is the cybersecurity market going to be by 2020? Right. So that is where, if you wanted to go further your studies on the ICT side, if you want to go into further studies or choose a career on the ICT side, you need to know what is it going to be in 2020 and beyond. So let's look the statistics by 2020. What are we looking at? So by 2015, cybersecurity expenditure globally has been $75 billion. So by 2020, they think it's going to be $170 billion cybersecurity expenditure. And IoT, investment IoT expenditure is going to be $29 billion. That's huge the market is going to be. And cybercrime cost is $500 billion by 2015, and 2019 it's $2 trillion. So what's the career forecast? And why these things are increasing, the breaches going to be increasing, and everyone is going to go on to IoT, as my colleague said in the morning. Today you have a watch connected to your SIM, and you will want all these devices before you go home, your water to be warmed, so that as you go home you can have a cup of tea, put your light on. Today the vehicles, everything is GPS connected. Before you get into the car, if the vehicle is in the hot sun, you can start the car, put the AC on. Right? So people want convenience, everything on your fingertip, so that it's all going to be digital. We were all talking about digitizing. So along with the digitizing, you need to have security guards. Unfortunately, security guards are not there. So there was 1 million job opening by 2016. So it has increased to 1.5 million by 2019. So more and more jobs is needed, is wanted in the market. So the growth of this market is, you're looking at 36.5%, almost 50% coming very close to that. So average salaries in US, I'm sure Dr. Sam might be a couple of times more than this, am I right? $380,000 per annum, and it will keep growing. But only thing is, you can't just go and ask for $380,000. You got to have, there are steps that you need to get in there. And if you don't go through the right direction, it's going to be a problem. So security expenditure increases from $75 billion in 2015, and 2018 it is 101 billion. And earlier statistics also said, this is one Gartner, and the earlier statistics says $2 trillion by 2019. So the Lloyds, one of the largest British insurance companies, they say the cyber attack cost $400 billion a year. Sometimes we all think we should have been hackers, not any other positions. But today, the good news is, few years back, hackers were regarded as the wrong people. You catch them and you jail them. And today, all the hackers are gone as ethical hackers, and certain companies hire hackers. Because what they want to do is, they don't want someone hacking the system and going and showing to everybody else. So they hire a strip kid who knows stuff, and they'll hire them. You say, your job day in, day out is trying to attack into my system. If you succeed, come and tell me how you went in, and I will give it to my team to patch it. So the next day, they go back again and keep on hacking. So that's their job. So, this is the only job I would say you can start, the only field you can even be an entrepreneur. You can be on your own if you know the techniques, if you have the knowledge, and if you have the experience. So lack of cybersecurity professionals by region, if you look at, so we are looking at Asia Pacific, total in the globe is 2.93 million. Now if you see the report, you might, if you are a person with numbers in your head, you will see there's a disparity with my numbers, what I said earlier, and what I'm saying now. Who did notice that? Raise your hand who noticed. Then I know you have been very vigilantly looking at my numbers and the presentation. So earlier I said to 1.5 million jobs. Am I right? For 2019, on offer, there's people are looking for 1.5 million cyber experts. Here says 2.93 million. So this is 2018. What I mentioned was 2019. Which means from 2018 to 2019, how many million jobs have already been filled? I don't know my numbers, tell me. 0.93 plus 0.5, how much? 1.43 million jobs have been filled. So from 2018 to 2019 globally. So there are people coming out fast, there are people learning fast, there are people gain the experience, and they are moving fast. So here, 2.93 million globally. In the Asia Pacific region where we all belongs to, 2.14 million jobs are on offer. Now what is happening to Sri Lanka? Are we digitizing our processes? Yes or no? Our company is responsible in digitizing the municipal council in this country. We have still not completed, but we are digitizing the entire process of the municipal council without going to the municipal council with an app or with a mobile app or with your going into internet you can do. Two things we are trying to achieve from that. What do we try to achieve? The main thing, bring down corruption. If you go to a government office, unfortunately, take one file from this table to go into that table, you need to pay the PN something. Otherwise, that doesn't move. Or you need to put a half a day leave or maybe full day leave. You put a half a day leave, but when you go there, sometimes the guys have gone for lunch. So you have to wait till about 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock to come, and then 4:30, not 4:30, 3:15, they go to the washrooms to make up, 4:30 to go on. So nothing happens. So again, you have to go on another day to do the same job. Unfortunately, that is the situation right now we have. So what do? You are forced to pay something to the PN to get your process expedited. So here we don't want that. So reduce corruption, number one. Number two, convenience to the customers. You no longer need to put a leave to go and get something done from the municipal council. You don't no longer need to go to the municipal council to get an application, upload, or an approval or pay rates, rent and rates, all that. So that's the lack of digitizing. Then the second digitizing, are we talking about a national ID being digitized? Are we talking about our driving license to be digitized? Are we talking about our government organizations being online, digitized? So all that, forget about everything else. How, we said 21 million people in this country, right? Out of which I would say at least 75% over 16 and above. Each 16 and above have a driving, have a national ID. So when you digitize the national ID, what you have in the pocket is out there on the net. So who looks after those information? Who looks after that information is not being released by somebody to a, like the Google or Facebook for advertising company. So you need people to protect that. So that is where we need you. In my organization, as I was talking to Sam the other day when I met him, so he was also surprised when I told him this. For the last 6 years, we have produced over 2,000 graduates, the cybersecurity professionals. We have over say 600 or 650 certified ethical hackers in this country. And we have over 100 computer hacking forensic investigators. We have over 25 or 30 computer security analysts who can go into the license for penetration testing, right? So it's easy. You just have to have your interest to go for it. So how to get there? These must be the questions that you have in your mind. Do I have any previous experience, certification related to the IT or cybersecurity field? Yes, you need to. Is there a technology I should learn first? Yes, you need to know how to do networking, all that. So what skills would you need for a career in this field? We will talk about it. These are the common questions that you will have in your mind. But the good thing is you do not have to be a genius in the IT side to get into it. But if you are, it is easy. But even if you are not, you can learn. What's the pathway? We start from bottom and we go up. So this is the academic pathway. Now today, fortunately or unfortunately, now I have interviewed. When I have a job vacancy in my company, we advertised. And then you need to understand the interview process. Once you advertised, you guys apply. And when you apply, I will have load of applications. Maybe I have 2 vacancies. I may have received about 200 applications or maybe 100 applications. Can I interview all of them for 2 vacancies? No, obviously not. So what do? I pass it to my HR team, screen them, and select the best 15 out of 200 applications. Now how is the HR person going to do that? I might give the guideline. So the guideline I might give, number 1, check a bachelor's degree. So the person will have to have a bachelor's degree to apply for this job. So out of 200 applications, she or he will screen and take out all the people who do not have a bachelor's degree. So the first screening. So the second screening, I will say, I want, if it's a cybersecurity related job, I will say I want the first degree related to cybersecurity. When you say a bachelor's degree, you can have a Bachelor of Science also. You can have a Bachelor of Management. So, but this is a cybersecurity job. I will want a specific job related what you have learned. So I go for Bachelor of Cybersecurity. Maybe another 100 CVs goes off. Likewise, keep going, and maybe I look for a number of years of experience. Maybe I look for the region. Yeah. So likewise, I may get 15 applications. So I may have lost a super talented, excellent, knowledgeable kid, but unfortunately, I won't know looking at your CV that. The HR person does not know looking at the CV. So you need to be there with your bachelor's degree. That I would say is a must today. All right. So then with the bachelor's degree, you can go now. Entry into the bachelor's degree there are two entries. You can come from O-level or you can come from A-level. I'm sure you all are all aware how O-level and A-level comes on. And then afterwards you go into your master's degree. A lot of people make this mistake. Soon after the bachelor's, you go do your master's. The idea of master's, now I have my bachelor's degree from Colombo University, and I have my master's degree from the University of Colombo. I did my bachelor's, should I tell my year? Right? Okay. I did my bachelor's in 1993. Sorry, I did my A-levels in 1993. I went to university. I was not lucky as you guys. I went to university in 1996. Thanks to this education system, for 3 years, I was out. Because the applications, there was strikes, everything was going on, and I was not being able to go. So 1996, when I went to the university, 2 batches, 93, 94 A-levels, both came in. And I graduated in 2000 from Colombo University. I got the graduation certificate in 2001. So 93 to 2001, how many years? 8 years. If someone was waiting for the bachelor's degree certificate to get a job, your 8 years of your life was gone back then. But today, you're lucky, you do your A-levels in 2020, results comes in 2020 December, if not January, and 2021, you can go if you have enough marks. But we were the unlucky lot. So, but I graduated in 2000, and I did my master's, I registered for my master's in 2008, 8 years afterwards. Now, even 8 years afterwards, I went back to the university, I had some of my same old lecturers, and they were teaching, I'm a business, I'm not a techie person, so I did a business management degree, and then I went for master's in business administration. I had the same lecturers. So they were teaching me 4P, 7P, all the same Ps. So I asked, sir, what is the difference between the bachelor's degree and the master's degree? What do I learn? And so my suggestion to you is do not do the master's degree immediately after, because you need to know how the theory which you have learned in the bachelor's degree can apply in the real life world. And then you go back to again the studies, again they'll teach you, you will understand more because you are practically experiencing that, whether that can be applied. And then you also can challenge the lecturer saying, sir, I have tried, this particular theory does not work in the real world. Then that's where you're going to learn. That's the whole reason of masters. So you need to have at least 3 to 4 years of work experience doing the masters. In this field, cybersecurity, it's all about knowing the knowledge and do what best than the other person. But the qualification is needed for the simple reason when I told you is that to get a job. So then you can go to the master's degree, then you can go even do a PhD like the doctor who was here, the youngest PhD holder in cybersecurity, and you can further your career on that. Now, having the academic qualification itself is not good enough, right? So you need to have certain professional qualifications, right? So academic qualification is good, that can drive you somewhere, but also you need to have professional qualification. So these are the professional qualifications that you may have. If you are a beginner, these are the qualifications that you have. I don't need to read. I'm sure all of you can read, right? And then if you are a foundation level, these are the technical skills that you need to have. If you do not have, you can go get these skills. I mean, in Sri Lanka, there are many places that you can get this. Then the core, then you have the specialized job. As I said, computer hacking, forensic investigations, the ethical hacking, then disaster recovery professionals, then you have encryption specialist, right? Then you have the management side. You can be now 2 years back or year back, Chief Information Security Officer job was never in Sri Lanka. It was not a position that it was held in Sri Lanka. Today, Chief Information Security Officer in a financial institute, especially a bank, is a must. And that has been told, not by me, by the Central Bank of Sri Lanka. So all banks have been told that you need to have the CISO. Now, you can't have your downstairs security guard and put a board and CISO and sit and give him a chair there. Transfer from the downstairs security to upstairs and give a CISO role. There is a specific qualification that the central bank says you need to have for you to be in that CISO role. And there are specific number of years that you need to have for you to sit in that role. So experience, your academic qualification, then you need to get your professional qualifications, and then what you need is your experience. So what are the job levels that you have? Entry jobs. Network security, I'm a cyber security specialist. You can IT security analysis, intrusion detection analysis, ethical hacker. The mid-level, you can be an administrator, or you can be a pen tester, you can be an information security auditor, and so on and so forth. Network security engineer, like Dalan, he's an expert in the SL cert. And then you can go to the senior level, as I said, CISO, which is a new addition globally. I mean, for Sri Lanka it's new, but for the world it was like 5 years or even a little longer it was there. So most important, what's the salary going to be like? You know, how much can I earn? Sometimes you ask, what is the pay when you go to the first job? Or when you get a call for a job interview, they'll ask, how much do I get paid? You have not even gone for the job. And this is your first job, you're more interested in your pay than try to learn something. So don't go into that level. First, get your hands dirty. At whatever the price, get your hands dirty. If they are willing to pay even 5,000 rupees, you should be happy. They are paying. So get your hands dirty, and then later on maybe you can demand what you want to demand. So, hold on.
Sorry.
So these are all, sorry, in Sri Lanka we talk about per month. These are all for per year. So next slide. Can you see the amount of money that you can earn? But if this is not your first job, don't think as you don't go and ask, you have been offered a security analyst job, you say, look, give me $70,000 per year. And how many experience you have? I don't have experience. You have a qualification, you have a certificate. How much salary? $70,000. They say, thank you, we'll be in touch with you. That's the answer that you will get it. But first job, up to 4 to 5 years, you need to be getting your hands dirty. Beyond that is something that you can demand for. So the final thoughts. So try to keep it in time. So rate of growth for jobs in information security is projected at 36.5%. That's something I would say if you are looking at an ICT industry career, cybersecurity or related job is the growth. Now today, a lot of people, now for example, when I graduated from university, I said 2000. Along with me, my science graduates, they had almost 50 to 60,000 rupees that they earn per month. 50 to 60,000 rupees per month as they graduated for a software developer. But today, that rate has come down drastically. There's about 15 to 20,000 they offer from 2000 to now. Because there are so many developers, but if you want to go to the software development side, you need to be secure developer, secure coder. There are a lot of coders, but you need to be secure coder. That's where you can demand your price, right? So the security side also can be an offensive security person, you can be a forensic investigator, you can be a security analyst, you can be a pen tester. There are so many jobs. So once you finish your A-levels, you talk to your teacher and see what career that you want to go in. Talk your heart, where's my passion? And based on that, you need to take a job. So projected pay, $93,000 per year. Don't stop at a college degree. As I said, you need to have a professional qualification. I'll give you one example of mine. I told you 93 I did my A-levels, 96 I went to university, 2000 we graduated. So while these 4 years, I had lots of friends who did the bachelor of degree only, business management degree only. But in return for me, I did my chartered accountancy. I started doing chartered L1, L2 at that time. Then I realized this is not my job. This is not what I want to do. Then I stopped chartered. But I can say I'm a part qualified accountant. Then I started doing CIMA, Chartered Institute of Marketing. Before I finished my final year, I completed all 4 stages. So when I graduated, I had a bachelor's degree, a professional qualification called CIMA, and also have a part qualification in finance. So when a colleague of mine, we both apply for the same job, who gets selected? So the other guy has only a bachelor's degree. I have 2 other qualifications over and above the bachelor's degree. So obviously would be I'll be the choice, unless otherwise I fail in the interview. So always remember, don't be satisfied with your bachelor's degree. You need to have a professional qualifications with you in whatever the field. And do not go and do, if you want to do ICT side, do not go and do Bachelor of IT degree. You are nowhere. Right? Bachelor of IT degree specialized in, say, cyber security. Maybe the last semester or maybe the last year, you will have a couple of subjects put, and then they say BIT, specialized in security, or specialized in networking, specialized in something. People might not hire you. I mean, because if that person gets, say, imagine I'm looking for a security professional. So I get application of someone who has done BIT, specialized in security, and I have another person, Bachelor of Security, from year 3, all 3 years, Bachelor of Cybersecurity. Who do I hire? Obviously the person who has a Bachelor of Cybersecurity. So you got to decide right now, or you got another 10 months to decide what you want to be. Don't do a general degree, do a specific degree, target oriented, go for that job. And always think what I told at the start, whether there is a job of what I am looking at it in another 5 years' time. So also once you graduate, if you are a person wanted by a company, if the companies are coming to you, say, can I hire you? Can I hire you? Or you need to go and knock on doors of people saying, sir, this is my CV, can you hire me? So your demanding power is very less in the second instance. So you got to be a person who will be, the company will be walking into you and saying, chap, join me, let's talk about your package. That's where you can demand. Or you can say, thank you, I want to be on my own, I want to build my own company. So then the company might say, I will invest in your company, let's do a partnership. There are a lot of startups like that with the kids who has a lot of technology and a lot of ideas. So as I said again, internship is very important when you work, and voluntary work is also very important, because don't expect money every single thing that you do for. Gain your experience, then you can get it. So these are my final thoughts for the day, and thank you very much for all you guys being here. And it's been a very tiring day. I spoke to one school during the lunchtime, so I got one suggestion from the school. It was a very good suggestion, which says whether we can have some interactive sessions with the students, which is good, instead of just having lectures and lectures and lectures, which is boring. We would love to do that, but unfortunately, we have 450 kids here. To have one interactive session of 450, it might take half a day. So that's why we have gone into this lecture session, so that you can take down notes, take back whatever you have learned, share it with your friends. If you want such sessions, whoever the person from my office has contacted you, contact back and say that you want to have such session, you want to have an awareness session, we are more than happy to come in. We do this as I told you, a corporate social responsibility. With a smaller group, we will come and educate yourself and have a bit more fun using the technology. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bhushan Dayaratne. And may I also have Mr. Vasana Vikramasena to please present a token of appreciation to our speaker. And in the meantime, I would just give you a quick reminder. All the presentations which took place right here at the summit is recorded and will be uploaded to www.ft.lk. So you can check it out later on www.ft.lk. And we will now have another hacking demonstration by Sikra Consultancies.
Very small.
Just a small message. Right after this demonstration, we'll be having a small session where you could ask questions from the speakers, and we'll wind up this summit for today at around 4:30. So enjoy the demonstration, and we'll be back with the
I'll tell you when
speakers.
to click it and then when to browse the internet. Okay. See, I have charge. Okay. Yeah, there's. Okay, I'm back with another demo. I think probably the final. I mean, it is the final demo, not probably. So we have two screens here. This is going to be my machine, and I'm basically going to hack this machine, right? Over here, we have. I don't think it's that clear, but you can see there's an image file called iPhone 11. It's the new iPhone 11, right? Or maybe, yeah. Let's find out. So what happens is, let's say once the user clicks on and tries to open it, right? So probably how you could have got it, you might have downloaded it off the internet, right? Let's say once the user clicks and opens the new iPhone 11 image. Wait, it's an image, right? It looks like an image, right? Right? No? Okay, it's an image. Open it up, please. Let's see what happens. Well, can you see something happen on the other side of the screen, the left side? I got something, right? Now, notice on his screen, and this is the other laptop. I mean, there's nothing even the picture didn't come up, but I noticed, but I got something else on my PC, right? So what I can do now is, if I just this thing, now I am basically inside the user's PC, and he has no idea, right? So let's say if he was to browse the internet, and go on to Facebook, for example. Give me a minute. So let's say, yeah, if you start going onto Facebook and browsing the internet, I can capture his username and passwords, right? He's gonna browse through Facebook and put in some fake credentials. Let's see if you can actually capture it. Yeah, so he's on Facebook now, and he's putting the username. And know that I have no idea what he's doing, right? This is just for you guys to see that I have two screens. And he has put in something. And let's just say he hits login. And if I click that dump, so he went to Facebook and was the username test at test.lk and password 132sg something something. Can you guys see that? right? This is just by him clicking the, the iPhone image, whereas he thought it was an image, but what actually is a malware once again, right? So now I have full control over his PC. I can even take pictures from his webcam. Do you guys want to see that? And he has no idea. Let's actually do that. So if I just go here, and so smile. Got it. There you go. And he has no idea, right? I mean, you guys can see his screen. He's just onto Facebook, and he has no idea. Like, I took a picture. I can even record his webcam and do whatever it is. I can even listen to his audio, but I'm not going to show you guys all of that now. The things are even like, I can even take pictures of his desktop, right? So if I take a screenshot, for example, and then if I go to, you guys can see my screen, right? This is his PC, right? This is on my machine. So I can literally do the possibility design list, to be honest with you. And I can even shut down his PC if I wanted to. Should I shut down his PC? Yes? Okay. I'm going to shut down his PC. And just like that, done. Full control over the PC, just by clicking an image, right? So what I wanted to basically tell you guys is that, you might be using a lot of torrents, right? I think as youngsters, we all download videos, movies, music and whatever it is. But you never know what's actually inside that file that you're downloading. It could be this. And you see the user is not aware at all, like, when you're downloading it, you have no idea what's actually, you might think it's a movie file. Yes, it might open up, right? But there is something else that's getting installed. So, when you're using torrents, be careful. Even I use torrents personally. Yeah, let that just be inside this closed door. But just be careful and always, scan your files and folders before you actually open them for any certain viruses, malware, else it might result in something like this. Thank you. Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you very much for that interesting demonstration, and I'm pretty sure everybody enjoyed watching it. And it can be fun, but it's not when you're affected. And right now, I would like to invite our speakers for a quick panel discussion. You can ask your questions from our speakers. So I would like to invite our chief guest as well to join in. Dr. Sam Bowney, founder, InfoSec Decoding Corporation, DEFCON USA and China. And we would also like to have Mr. Udita Vijayasundara, Global IT Director, ISM APAC. And instead of Mr. Damit Palewata, we have Mr. Dulan Vikramasinghe, Acting Manager, Information and Cyber Risk at a National Bank, and we also have him. And may I also invite Dr. Buddhima Subasinghe and Mr. Dayalan Nagaratnam. This session will be moderated by Mr. Bhushan Dayaratne, Group Director, CEO at Sikra Holdings.
Test. All right, for the interest of time, I'll be standing and asking questions. Right, so the time has come for you. Yeah, this is your time. I will be moderating, but before I ask, I have many questions to ask. But before I post any questions, because I know all of you have to go, so we have 25 minutes. If you have any doubts or things to clarify, this is the time. Raise your hand, mention your name and the school, and post the question. I'm sure you can be loud enough. No questions? Either you learned something or you didn't learn anything. All right. Yes, go ahead. All right, so I need to ask, the person is not here. Here, yes. Okay, you answer.
Do you mind coming again with the question? Sorry, I wasn't concentrating. My bad.
As the malware is downloaded, will it give you remote access of the computer that has been infected, or it is click on the malware for it to be for you to access the computer?
Yeah, you have to click on it, right? Because when you click on it, that's when it starts initiating a session to wherever the user is at the end part of the world. But you see, if you have a good antivirus, right, updated to the data signature database, then it would pick it up and it would clean it up before you could actually, do anything to protect you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, any more? Raise your hand. Up there? Don't think we have forgotten you all, huh? Sorry, I didn't look up, but but I know you guys up there. Any questions up there? I can throw the mic. Sorry, yes.
My name is Russell. I'm from Gateway College, Kandy. So my question is basically, like recently, a famous artist's Facebook page got down. Can I tell the name? It's Iraj. So basically, his account went down. Don't know why, because it's political issues. So and then he got it back. Can I know how it got it back? Because it's related to CERT, I think.
You're asking classified information.
Okay. Now, what makes you think that we got it back, or it real incidents? So as part of that, we do have a contact with Facebook. So if your accounts are to be compromised, or if they do get compromised, yes, with certain information that you give it to us, we would pass it on to Facebook. They would get in touch with you individually and hopefully help you to recover your account. Yes, that's something they do. But on this case, I'm not quite aware whether he approached us or not, or don't know what sort of channel he used, because there are a lot of trusted parties in Sri Lanka where you can approach, or another country. So him being a known person, don't know how you approached. So I don't know. Maybe he has approached CERT, but that didn't come to me. Okay. Yes.
Can I get it back?
Right. Now, it depends for what reason your account is being blocked or being taken down by Instagram. If you have been violating their policy, obviously, it's a no-no.
Yeah.
If your account has been compromised, yes, there are chances we can help you to get your account back, but not when they have blocked it. If they blocked it, it's for a reason. Probably they're asking more information for you to provide. If you do provide them, they'll get it back. But there are times that less likely where these things happen, false automatically things. But then if you do think that this is something weird, well, I didn't do anything wrong, but my account has got blocked, yes, you can get in touch with us, and probably we have an intern teams who will be able to assist you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Any questions? I got one. Sam, this is for you. I'm sure you guys, everybody is, they are all aware of Alexa. Who does not know about Alexa? Everyone. Okay. Then about Google. Hey Google. Right? So now you keep that device connected to power, connected to internet, and whenever you want, say Alexa or hey Google, she or he, whoever you want it to be, will wake up, will listen, and will answer whatever the questions that you have asked. My question to you is that, what he or she is doing when they're sleeping?
What's that?
What he or she doing right now, it's supposed to be connected, but on sleep mode. So is there a security threat of being recording silently?
Well, can it answer if you talk to it?
Yes.
Well, then it's listening. And the same
Yes.
thing is true of your cell phone. If your cell phone can ring, then your provider knows where you are. And there was an article about a week ago from a company, there's a Chick-fil-A, sells chicken sandwiches, but not on Sunday. And people wanted where people that eat there go on Sundays. And it turns out everyone who has installed the app, it sends your GPS back to them every 30 seconds, and they sell it to all kinds of other companies, and everybody can get it. So, I mean, we're all carrying bugs that hear everything and report our location to people who totally take that data and sell it. And the cops can get it without a search warrant, and any marketing company can get it. When I was a kid, I watched this show Star Trek, and Captain Kirk has this badge, and they always know where he is. And I said, that's a very strange idea. Nobody would do that. But we're all doing that.
So it could be listening.
Oh, yes, it has to be listening. It wouldn't hear you when you call it if it's not
Exactly,
listening. And
that's
it's
my
sending
point.
that all up to the web. And now we give our children toys they talk to, and all that data goes up to the web. It's a brave new world.
Yeah, I think Bhushan, I can add something to that as well, because very recently, last week, so I had my personal experience as well with Siri, right? Because I was traveling with, my kids, so normally, so early morning it's boring for them. So normally we have a chat with, my kids while traveling, right? So they have so many questions. So that day we were a little bit, imitating the people's voice, right? And so suddenly my daughter, of course, talk about, hey, something, then Siri was responded, I couldn't, hear properly. Can you repeat it? I went wrong, I actually crazy, how Siri knows now, because he's listening to me all the time. And now actually I'm switching off, my data, while discussing certain important thing at my home. And same thing, Alexa as well, and Google Home, same. Right? Because the recent incident, of course, the TV advertisement, right? Call to the Alexa, and all the Alexa was activated.
But it's not just your voice. Now they have the face recognition, so
Exactly.
it's also watching everything you do and sending it off to the internet.
Yeah, because in the last demonstration, so in the computer as well, so now they are predicting which angle actually you are looking at in the websites. So they are that's what I said, 19,000 data points. It's very, very, huge, right? So when you turn back your eyes, of course, they know, so you are looking at, what advertisement. Then you are promoting, those advertisements for you next day. So it's crazy.
All right, we don't intend to scare you, but this is information that you need to know. Any questions from the audience? Yep. Go ahead, shoot.
What is actually deep learning?
No.
Deep learning? Well, I'm not sure I know what deep learning is. I know what artificial intelligence is. That's just modeling data. Deep learning, I don't know. You got it?
It's like that, like a deep learning, it will come to the big data, right? So what they do is, they actually try to understand your pattern, right? So they collect the data and keep on, tracking it, what you do. And it is intelligent enough, to learn themselves as well. So for example, so for traveling, and so when I'm traveling, what actually I will normally bring it. Right, so then they started, capturing that, and they started, doing the learning about myself and my behavior. Right, so that is actually come with the machine learning as well. So then that's where, all the bot, acting smart, to respond you. It is learning themselves. It's like us, like in childhood, so we don't know anything, right? But with, growing, we are learning step by step. It's same.
Why is that deep? How's that different than AI?
Yeah, it actually.
Yeah, so I think he rightly mentioned it. What happens is in machine learning, it learns according to the inputs that we've given. So just like we bring up a small kid, it gradually starts learning on its own. So that's the beauty of deep learning. And the machine actually starts thinking like a human being.
Yes.
Well, we don't know how it thinks. I mean, they learn to solve a chess problem, and we don't know how to do it. So it's...
Yeah, it's basically the logic, of course, they applied from the back end, because this logic actually, dynamically updated, right?
Yeah.
it depends on the number of data points.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
When you have more data point, of course, the accuracy of, for example, like predicting the, like Microsoft itself, has this capability.
Indication, like, is there any better security measurement?
And there's also challenge response mechanisms, so there are better ways, but two-factor is specifically to identify practice. They are not, because you can get it all from your phone. So if I put malware in your phone, I get both factors. So nothing's perfect, but two-factor is much better than passwords alone.
There's one at the back.
And everything were blocked. So still people use the cheap app called VPN, and then they still accessed Facebook and Instagram. So their data was flowing through it. And I want to ask whether the Sri Lankan cybersecurity is still weak or still is under development. That's my question.
I think the best person to answer is from SL Cert.
Did you I did not understand it. What was it?
Whether Sri Lankan
Okay,
is weak.
let me put it this way. Okay, there's nothing perfect, is it? Is everything perfect everywhere? Obviously, we do learn things on a day-to-day basis. And then you know for a fact, once you connect through that, you get a foreign IP, which means you are able to access the VPN, that's all. But I know it was free, most of you got it for free, there are a lot of free VPNs, but you do not know what sort of permission, what sort of control the app has on your phone. You don't know what sort of information is taken from your phone. You have no clue, right? So anything you get for free is not always free. Anything on the internet is, anything that comes free, there's always a catch. Now, for example, Gmail, your emails are being read, right? But here comes to a point where you need to communicate, but then if you're an individual user, you don't have a choice but to use Gmail, Yahoo, Hotmail, or any other free mails. You don't have a choice, do you? Right? It's just about being safe. So yes, due to reasons, due to regulations from different, I would say the TRC and along with other people were able to do that for certain reasons because they thought that was the best option to be done at that point of time. But still people were using VPNs. Yes, we don't have laws. We don't have certain regulations in place. So that's why there are countries where Facebook is blocked, as you know, China and a few other countries. And even using, you'll be fine even using VPN, and if you use them, you'll be fine. You'll be taken into custody. It's not impossible, so probably see, what CERT does is to provide technical support and solution. It's where the police the law enforcement authority has a role to play here. So I think, but I hope I've answered your question.
Just adding one more, Alan. The question that you referred to was the Easter Sunday attack. And the Facebook being down has nothing to do with the cybersecurity of the country. The reason, if you ask why the Facebook was down, because there are a lot of incorrect information was circulating, and there's a lot of hate speeches was going on. And to avoid any other incidences taking place, that is the reason I would say the Facebook was down. But that does not mean the country's cybersecurity is not safe. The same thing happened in Ratupaswala incident as well. So I would say, just for your information, that the cybersecurity level of cybersecurity in the country and Facebook was being down as two different things.
Yeah, just one more thing, Bhushan. So I think correctly Bhushan said, people's safety comes first. Because just because you have a platform where you can share information doesn't mean that you can misuse it. This is where ethical usage of devices come into place. You need to be ethical in terms of what you do, right? So you do hold responsibility in terms of what you share and do. So people think that they can get away, but to be honest, if we do have right controls in place, if our police, the authorities are quite good enough, people can't get away, right? There are countries, when there's an attack that takes place in one country, the other country, they think, okay, if this happens to us, how are we going to defend? They think about the future, right? So I think all of you do have a role to play. If you do have anything weird going on Facebook, even information being shared, if you think that this is going to bring up clash between communities, you shouldn't be sharing it, right? So keep that in mind. Thank you.
So
Just
small
to,
thing to add here as well. I think it's like having curfew. Why actually we should have a curfew? It's to control the situation, right? So because as a government leadership need to come up and action on this to stop having harmful feeling for others, right? So as I told you, the Facebook or whatever the social media is not to harm anyone, right? So the information flowing through this platform is not genuine at all, right? So you have to trust the people who you can trust on, right? So you can just go home and check, so what are the posts coming to your page, post. So most of them is not genuine, right? So as a leadership, so they have to stop it, right? So that is the main reason, as Bhushan said, so there are no combination between what is the level we have today. Of course, I think, we have a good, a security arm, in place in the country. That is why, of course, these all can be done within a few seconds, right? Every, social media can be blocked. If we are not ready with the infrastructure, we cannot do that as well, right? And yeah, that is actually learning, of course, with the incidents. And more important thing, responsibility is with you all. You are the people who is using it, and how you use it, what you share it, that is most important thing.
And just to add a little bit on the VPN thing. So how many of you have used VPN? When these sites got blocked, when Facebook got blocked, how many of you have used VPN?
Almost everyone.
So how many of you have reviewed, when you install VPN, the permission that they ask? They ask to access your camera, they ask to access your SMS. Have you all reviewed that?
All said okay, okay, okay.
You said okay, okay, you accept, and you just install. Okay, so you don't know what sort of information has flown out from your phone, from your picture gallery. Any idea? So as the member from SL correctly said, anything which comes free, which will have something to do bad. Okay, so people won't give you anything free just for fun. There will be some back doors. There will be some loopholes where data can be taken out. Okay, so that's the awareness that we have to build in. Okay, so now you guys have some awareness. Installing an application, installing a mobile app. So always review the permissions. Why do they ask access to your gallery, to your pictures, and to your SMSs? Okay, so be mindful if you are using VPN. Be extra cautious. Be mindful when you are downloading softwares, when you are installing applications in your mobile phones. Be extra cautious.
Right, guys. I think we have another 5 more minutes. I'm sure everybody wants to go home. Sorry. We'll go there first. And you got the mic, so you're going first.
Hi, my name is Ryan, and I'm from St. Nicholas College, Nigambu. I actually have 3 questions, if it's fine.
Sorry?
I actually have 3 questions, if it's fine.
Go fast.
Yeah. You mentioned that earlier that from 2018 to 2019, there was like 1.43 million vacancies were filled. So by the time we come out of the universities with a bachelor's degree, would we have an opportunity in the job market in obtaining the job in cybersecurity?
Why don't you go with all 3 questions and we'll answer?
Okay. Second one is, as it was mentioned, the deep web. Can anyone access the deep web? Like, how is it accessible to everyone? And the third question is, what are the laws against the hacker? Like, if we get hacked, what are the laws that can't we catch a hacker and then punish him by the law in Sri Lanka?
Right, so the first question I'll answer, the second and the third question I'll give it to the Alan, who is the law enforcement agency supporting, I'm supposed to be answering on that. All right, the first one, the question, yes, from 2.43 to come down to 1.5 million. Yes, there have been quite a lot of professionals coming out, so those vacancies have been filled. But it does not mean that in another 3 years' time that it will come down. Now, if you look at the other statistics where I mentioned 29 billion people are investing on IoT. Sri Lanka itself is investing quite a lot on digitizing process. But I told you Sikra campus has trained over 2,000 people. But I think the country needs more than 10, 15,000 professionals. So, and globally, the IoT devices coming in, more and more digitizing processes coming in, more and more businesses are going into convenience of the customers with, driverless cars, drone delivery. I don't know whether next war even might come in with drones. So you need the professionals there. That is the only profession I would say has 36.5% growth. So don't worry on that. So the other two.
About the deep web, it's a very big, like a topic, right? So then if you really want to know, so what to do, actually you can talk to me because I have a separate session on that as well. But if you really want to access, you can use the Onion, browser, right? To that, you can just go, but be aware, without knowing the deep web, don't try it. Because you will be in danger, because I have done, this session for University of Colombo, and it is very, very, dangerous, if you don't know the basic, of the deep web, and don't try to access it. And better, what, because what you can see is only 5% of the entire internet, right? So rest 95, it is under this. So you should be, very, very knowledgeable and go and play with that, right? So my advice, learn about it, so then you go and experience about it, right?
So I think he gave you the answer. Just download a browser called Tor. That's all you need, right? You install it and you start working on it. So what we see is only 4%. What we don't see is out there. You can go and explore. The second thing you were asking about catching a hacker and all that. Yes, I think Bhushan should have had a law enforcement officer over here. But if I may be correct, yes, we have a law which is number 24, 2007 Computer Crime Act. Yes, if you've hacked or if you compromise the system and if you've been caught by the law enforcement authority, because CERT cannot do that, because we don't have the law enforcement authority. The police, if they had the capability in doing that, yes, they're punishable. Laws do exist, but it's just a matter of if our law enforcement authorities, are they ready? Can they do that? So I think they're not here to answer your questions. Thank you.
I think we had two other questions. We'll quickly take that if you don't mind. Sorry, that person goes first. Sorry, can you pass the mic down there first?
Keep this mic as well.
Good evening. My name is Bruce. I'm from Royal College. As you said, the tech companies and everything are harvesting and farming our data for commercial purposes. I would like to know, is our data being analyzed and farmed for law enforcement purposes? And where do we give the consent for it? This question is mainly directed towards the CERT, if you don't mind.
Anyway, all questions has been for me, but yes, law enforcement authorities, but see, again, I'm not a law enforcement authority. I cannot. So what I can imagine or presume is that, yes, probably they look out for information because they want to make sure that the society is clean and people are safe. Yes, they don't want to have bad things happening over the country, where the dark web and all that. Yes, so in US, to what I know, there are law enforcement officers who work on dark web. That's their job. They're on it. They see if any person, probably even on a chat room, for example, there can be someone pretending to be like a 13-year-old girl, but an elderly officer. So probably if someone else, elderly man, is trying to have a conversation, if they want to meet, they say, okay, he pretends to be a girl, and as they meet, he gets arrested because there's a law, yes? So there are reasons why law enforcement authority may collect information, but I'm sure they do it only for safety of the individual. Again, that depends on the country, the rules that they have, laws that they have, and I'm not sure how things work within our country.
That's also to make the world a safer place to live.
When we sign up for a Google service, they give out a policy statement and we give consent to it. So if the law enforcement agencies are collecting our information and data and using it for the good, it could be for the good, but where do we give the consent to collect our data?
Yes, again, see, asking about law enforcement. Okay, probably got to ask one of them. I do not know in our country if they do that. right? I'm just saying in a general note what happens within other countries and other continents. Everyone have their own rules, probably they have their own things. So for certain things at a government level, for safety of people, they may be doing it, right?
Thank you very much. To add this, like, so in my case, and so we are in European region, so we have a GDPR in place, right? So which is, like actually on behalf of the, all the users in the internet, so they have authority to, like ask their data, what happened, so who use it, what is the process, so what is the control on it. In Sri Lanka, actually, like, so we are in the beginning of, like this setup, but, like, countries like Russia and, like North Korea, they enforce, people to share this with their, military forces to save their, people. So it's all depend, like how the leadership is driving it. I think, our leadership also now towards, the right direction. So that's why, so we are getting, almost most of the SMS without knowing, right? So, but it will all right.
Well, I just want to say something about consent. If you read the last days of Socrates, he talks about this. When you live in a culture and they protect you, and you find it safe, you have agreed to the rules. So it's not explicit, but you have benefited from the culture, so you have consented and agreed to the rules that made you safe. Anyway.
Just wanted to give a very short answer. The law enforcement authorities or the state have the authority to collect all the data. And what happens is they will never disclose that they are collecting the data. And they will do it in a very secret way. I'll give you one example. In Sri Lanka, for example, this happens all over the world. All the communications that happens through telecommunication providers, they maintain logs. It's a requirement by the government that they maintain logs. Whatever the calls, whatever the messages, they maintain those logs. And the requirement is to keep for certain very long period of time. So if there's say for example, if a murder happens, and if the government wants to investigate and find out whether these possible suspects were using mobile phones and whether you can link them with their connections, the government, the law enforcement can reach out to the particular agencies, particular telecommunication authorities and collect the data. Likewise, it's one example, one easy example, like you guys might not remember about 10 years ago, one judge was murdered just close by to BMICH. And the people who killed him were tracked mainly through the mobile networks. Just one example. So likewise, Sri Lanka, of course, as they mentioned, is still at the early stages. So they might not be really collecting data with regard to the digital data. But telecommunication data is being already collected. Right, thank you.
All right, you have the mic.
Hi, my name is Parsha and I'm from Sussex College, Nugegoda. My question is, in the last demo, they showed how they could just take visuals of whoever's in front of the device. So I'm asking whether there's any way that we could minimize the damage that could be caused earlier, before that could happen.
Well, the simplest thing, you should cover the camera with tape. That's what everybody...
Exactly.
That's what every security professional does.
Exactly. There you go.
Well, like in other countries, well, there's FBI and those kind of organizations who also does that. So is it okay if we do that?
It's your device.
Yeah, you have to.
Okay.
They even sell little gadgets. Modern computers have it built in. It's the best thing to do. Don't trust anything electronic. Antivirus is good, but you can't trust it. Just cover the camera.
What you can do is keep the camera closed all the time. Whenever you want to use it, you open it. There are small devices that you can buy. Actually, I'm using one. So it's kind of thing like this. You just keep it closed, and when you want to use it, make it on. You don't even have to invest something like that. You can even put a sticker.
So like when we're using it, doesn't it take our visuals?
Sorry?
When we're using the cam.
Yeah.
Well, you only take off the tape when you want to use it.
Yeah.
That's all.
Unless someone come physically to your computer and take the camera, the sticker also off, then obviously it's compromised in big time.
No, like let's say we are using something like Skype.
Yeah, I get your question. So you're saying that in case, sorry to interrupt,
Yeah.
you mean when you're using, like maybe you're using a video call or something like that,
Yeah.
using Skype or something, right? So in that case, your camera is on, right? So, like, that way you can't cover the camera, right? You can't have it covered. So obviously the best practice would be to always have updated antiviruses just to minimize in that way. But let's say you by mistakenly did download some application and have it installed, then obviously there are some advanced antivirus softwares that would detect it beyond that, and that would obviously notify you, right? So you just need to keep up with the latest trends, and
Right, and I have another question. Can we get hacked if we are not connected to a network?
Can you get hacked?
No.
It's not possible.
No.
It's not possible. But
No,
you know,
you can do it. We did it to Iran. This is an air gap is a strong defense, but you can hack a machine even when it's not connected to the internet. It is, however, very difficult, and it doesn't usually happen to normal consumers. But the military can do it, and we do.
But I think for you to send the data across, I think you need to be back online.
You can only get the data back later.
Later, when you're online, right?
But you don't have live immediate control.
Yeah.
But you can put malware on it,
Yes.
and you can steal the data back later.
yeah, that's true. Till you are getting online, so of course you are not really in danger. But so once you connected it, of course all the data will be started transferring.
So as long as you're offline, you're pretty much safe.
Thank you.
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hi guys, I'm Ahmed from Zaya College Colombo. This is for CERT. So you stated that Gmails and Google during your speech when you showed us some videos that we've been monitored, right? So is there any possible ways that we could avoid the maximum damage that we are already getting through this? Anyways.
Okay. Now, for example, if you take Gmail or Yahoo, there are chances that they monitor your emails or in terms of what you do. So basically, when you are logged into your Gmail and when you browse, all these activities do get logged on Google activity, right? So you make sure that when you're logged into your email, you don't browse, right, on the same browser, because whatever you do gets logged on your Google activity. There are things that you can do if you want to be, for example, there are browsers as DuckDuckGo, for example, DuckDuckGo.com. Now, comparing to Google and comparing to what DuckDuckGo says that they don't save any of the information. They don't save your browsing history. They make it be private. That's what they say, and I hope they do, right? So there are private browsers where you can have yourself, where you can have privacy for yourself. They don't collect information from you, right? But if you really want to be anonymous, toe is the only way, which is the dark web. There are different things you can do.
So as you stated, like if we are in dark web, browsing, like aren't we being tracked there? Like.
Right. Again, I wouldn't say you're not. There are chances, and you could be, because there are law enforcement authorities. You can be, but there are things. See, whenever there's a technology is being designed, there are people to break it. That is how it goes, right? So I would say there's nothing. If anyone can provide 100% security, there's no one can do that. Everyone could try their best. So nothing is safe. We are in this room. You think this will not come off? I hope it has come off now. But that's how it is, right? Trust, and you cannot give 100% security for anything. But you can be tracked. Thanks.
Hello, this is Sarah Izan. A couple of weeks ago, I caught up with some posts from the accounts that I don't follow on Instagram. But I found it on my following list, like after some days. And then after a few days, I found on one of my friend's status that for a certain price, they would provide an extra number of followers. So, and he also mentioned that it's data farming. So how could I protect myself from following some unknown accounts? It happened without my knowledge.
Okay. So you didn't follow, and
so it actually, so you should have some action on it, because otherwise there was an example like this as well in India, right? So they use the app, and so then the person, of course, complaining to the app creator, like, okay, I'm getting, like a porn site, around the, the app. So it was a big issue, and he was complaining, like, why I'm getting this. Then they actually respond to the customer saying, sir, it is not really, like we are promoting this, right? This is what actually your activity logs. You normally go and search this, then that is why it is appearing on your site. Right? So stop browsing it, so then you can go ahead, like without it, so then. So here, like you have to be careful, because with maybe your mobile or like in laptop, there may be a malware.
No, it's not like that. It's not only for my account, it's for some others also. It's like unknowingly we are following some people. It's like it is called data farming.
No, you should be, following some groups, or else, like you are part of, like any kind of, like activities like that. So what you can do is just go and review your account and unlock, or remove, all the unwanted, members from your followers. Then you can, because you have to click it, otherwise it will be not followed. Because to be honest with me, myself, I'm getting so many requests as well. I'm adding to the groups. So I have to manually remove it. Because my contacts are everywhere, right? So because you can see it here, so everyone can follow me as well, right? And they can create the groups and add me as well.
But still, for a trial period, he gave me extra 100 followers, and those followers didn't know that they are following me. Unintentionally, they have followed.
So okay, it's interesting one. So maybe so we'll have offline chat and check so what is going bad.
So basically, I think basically what has happened is that you have been following, or you have accepted this company who is doing data farming, and you are in that group. So that company keeps on sending information, collecting lots of data. So automatically you are also in that group. So that's why your information keeps going to the other guys, and that's how other guys keep coming in board. So like Udit said, I would say the best way is that you go check your security settings and also see who you are following. Are those people that you have already accepted, or they are actually needs by you? If not, just unfollow them.
Because like, so then this can be in a different way, because in the Facebook marketing, like, so they have a degree of separation, as I told you in the LinkedIn, so we have first degree, second degree, and third degree. I can reach to this all the degrees if I pay more, right? That can happen as well. That's what I said, it's interesting story. So please share, like, so maybe, like, so we'll see, so what is happening there. Yeah?
So we can take the last question. I think everybody wants to go. Or no last questions? Oh, that's 2 questions. So ladies first. Oh, 2 ladies.
Hello, I'm Spidey Atukolla from Hillwood College, Kandy. My question is that you mentioned that our emails are being read. So who exactly reads our emails, and do they have enough time to read all our emails?
Okay, let me say, there are some tools called artificial intelligence. So they're based on what they are following. So basically, like I say, if you look at Google, Google may not be interested in what you're writing. Maybe the keywords are not the things that they want to follow you on, but they would have put certain keywords, the multiple keywords connection, and that's where the alert of following will happen. And if keeps happening those things, they'll zoom in and see what activities, what are you writing. So don't worry, they won't be following you. If at all they'll do it for national security, for national intelligence purposes, not to see what email you write.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Aisha Nizam from Good Shepherd Convent. So I have a question that now in a video they stated that they are giving us apps or softwares free, and it's dangerous because it kind of causes all the issues. But if we are purchasing that app, we have to certainly give our private details. Isn't it like both the same? Like, can't they hack even if you purchase it or get it free?
Well, when you purchase something, you always look for the reviews, right? you always look for the history of the company and the recognition that the company is having. So you do some research, you do some history research, and then only you purchase a product. Okay, so you can look at the feedbacks from the users, the number of users who have installed that application. Okay, so from those aspects, you can come to a considerable judgment that this product is reasonably safe. Okay, so when it comes to a free software, okay, a free application, maybe there are hardly any users and there are no reviews, and you just take a huge risk in downloading the application. Okay, so that may be one point that you can consider when you opt for commercial products compared to free applications.
I think the company also holds responsibility. Now, when you pay for something and when you get for something free, it's different. Yes or no? Yes? Because obviously you're paying for some services and they hold responsibility. They hold more responsibility because if they do get a bad thing from you, but then they would not be able to sell their product or whatever the reason is. So it's a mutual thing where both the parties, especially the seller, has to comply with. Yes?
I would say the closing remark is that I think this is something that everybody should know. Udit and I think Dayalan also Udit spoke about GDPR. That stands for General Data Protection Regulation. I'm sure Sri Lanka is also putting out the regulation on data protection bill. What GDPR is already in existence from last year. What it happens is if any company in the globe, right, is holding any information of a European national, and that company is responsible to maintain and secure that data that company is holding. It can be a company in Sri Lanka, like for example, it can be Udit's company in Sri Lanka, but holding information of European nationals. The Sri Lankan company is responsible to make sure that the information they are holding of the European nationals is secure. By any chance, if there is a breach, the charge is 4% of global revenue. Now, if it's a registered company in Sri Lanka, but there's multiple offices around the globe, 4% of the global revenue, or 20 million euros, is for one breach. So now why did they do that? Is make sure the companies who are holding your personal information to take extra care, not to just, like you said, collect it and dump it and keep. So now from last year, I think it was in March of
March
May,
25th.
March 25th. Since then, most of the companies spend quite a lot of money if they are holding, or sometimes they do not hold. So going forward with the regulations coming in cross-border, there will be a protection for us.
Yeah, and I think, the Facebook also got fined for it, right? So from the GDPR, so we're recently sharing the information. And to add this, I think, when you're purchasing, a product, so you have more options to control your privacy. It's not like a free tool, in the free tool, so then you have a lot of, things to click. So whether you like it or not, you have to agree on. But when you purchase it, you have a privacy settings, and you have more options to do that. That's the difference.
Thank you.
All right, so thank you very much, students. I think we have run off the time. One more.
Oh,
you guys don't want to go home?
Yes. But my question is about cryptography. I mean, in this whole presentation today, I didn't hear about cryptography and crypto analysis. And I mean, they are very prevalent jobs, but where are they?
Absolutely, but you can't cover everything within 8 hours. Talk about it, it will go for months and months. So we must leave something for the 4th annual Cybersecurity Summit.
Yeah, because cryptocurrency and blockchain is two different big, topics to discuss. Like, so if you don't know the base.
The cryptography protocols, I mean, like AES and.
Exactly. So, because, so then what I try to do is here, so to give the basic, right? So once you have a basic, of course, you can learn yourself, almost, like a next technologies.
And what are the career paths in Sri Lanka, I mean? what are the degrees following that?
I would say welcome to the 4th annual Cybersecurity Summit. Thank you very much. All right, so on behalf of SICRA and Daily FT team, I would like to thank all the speakers, especially Sam and Arthur, who flew all the way from their respective countries, and all the other panelists being here. Thank you very much. All the best.
Thank you very much to the moderator and the speakers. And I would now like to invite Mr. Vasana Vikramasena, Group Executive Director of SICRA, to propose the vote of thanks.
Good afternoon, everyone. So, hi everyone, good afternoon. So, I'll make it very short. The vote of thanks So, we are at the end of conclusion of the 3rd annual Youth Summit on Cybersecurity in Sri Lanka. And on behalf of SICRA and Daily FT, the co-organizers of the event, we would like to thank our speakers first. First of all, Dr. Sam Bound, our chief guest of today's event. Then Udita Vijayasundara, Arthur Weinstein, Damit Palleheva, Dr. Buddhima Subasinghe, Dayalan Nagaratnam, and of course to my partner Boshan as well for their immense contribution during these sessions. I would also like to thank our 2 demonstrators, Ride and Pubudu. Let's give another clap for them for their demonstrations. We should also thank SICRA and Daily FT teams. SICRA, especially I have to mention Achini Fernando, our head of business development, and her team for immense contribution. Also, we should thank the for supporting this initiative. Also to Daily FT and Vijay staff for their support covering live streaming of these events. And I would like to thank the principals and teachers of all these schools who nominated you to participate in this event. And finally, I have to thank all of you for patiently listening to all these sessions and asking all these very important questions at the panel discussion. Thank you so much for these live deliberations. And we wish you all the best and hope to see you all in the next year's Youth Summit, 4th Annual Youth Summit in 2020. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Vasana Vikramasena, Group Executive Director of SICRA. And with that, we've come to as a close of the National Youth Summit on Security. And this is just a quick reminder for everyone. If you need to collect your certificates, the teachers can do that from the counter outside. And it goes school-wise, so I request the teachers to please collect it from the counter. And the ones who have come individually can collect it themselves. Thank you so much for your presence. Hope you had a very fruitful session today. And enjoy the rest of your day. And do enjoy a cup of coffee outside. Thank you so much.